Hi from Texas, I am Guillermo Villaseñor and this presentation is for my psychology class 516 at Liberty University, Industrial Organizational Psychology. My professor is Dr. Benjamin Wood. During this video, I will be addressing 5 questions. And the first question is, how have recent historical events affect the course of research in organization psychology? Given an example of an event and the resulting outcome, certain historical events definitely impact the field of organizational psychology. This had made organizational psychology to shift from its original form. World War II in particular was one of these events that made organizational psychology to shift because the military demands. These demands open new opportunities for psychologists to research and also to apply between the field of psychology. Further, this has created an expansion in design and approach of industrial organizational psychology. This is according to Culberson 2015. Before World War II, the APA was no concern with experimenting or applying fields between psychology. In response to this change, the APA created a Division 14, Organizational and Business Psychology. This arm went through a couple of changes and became later on SIOP, which is Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology. Another example can be Facebook. Everybody probably heard about Facebook and what happened about how thousands of people and their data was exposed to benefit the voter pool. And these situations also shift the field of organizational psychology. Now people is looking into that, and also consumers advocates and trying to protect the of course the customers, the privacy, and also the safety of this, because they basically were using all the personal information for their own good. As I know, according to the news, Facebook has lost a lot of money, and I guess it's part of this situation. And according to PageNet 2017, this is what is going on with the Facebook and the analytical data breach. Question number 2. The question number 2, describe the socialization process for graduate students in your program. Is the program successful in socializing newcomers and creating jobs in business? Generally, organizational socialization is the process where a person will transition from the outside to a member from organization. Dawsonera 2008. So basically, any people who needs to be part from a organization needs to go through a process which is called organization socialization. Applying this concept of Dawsonera 2008 of socialization process for graduate students in my program, which is Master of Arts in Applied Psychology with concentration in organizational, industrial and organizational psychology, the program has to seek in helping the students to become more familiar with the university and its services. From orientation all the way to enrolling in classes, we have somebody who is taking care of us all the time. But and also as an online students, we have to participate through this discussion forums. Every week we have to be part of it. We need to reply to 2 classmates, and this is helping in some way the online students to socialize between the school. As a online students, also we have the option to follow Liberty University through social media. Social media has changed the way the students and professors and the school interact with each other in a big scale. Socialization is very important for any other field. If you want to be part of a church, you have to go through this process. If you want to be part of a community or club, you have to go through this process. But I guess Liberty University Online has succeeded on graduate students to be part of the school and also to feel like we really are part of the school. We receive phone calls from time to time just to asking if everything is fine. Thanks to the discussion boards, I found out that I have a classmate that lives in the same city like me. We know that Liberty University is in Virginia. Sadly, that classmate has to change of school for personal life issues. But it was very nice that we have this opportunity to know each other through the discussion boards and socialization process. This is how it's done with Liberty University, and we need to be part of a system. We need to be part of a social circle, and we need to in some point or in some way be integrated into this system. In this case, Liberty University Online as a student. I think the school has done great. Question number 3. How can an organization reduce or prevent work-family conflict? Balancing work needs and family needs is a challenge. Our family, I want us to do stuff around the house and the social life and church and whatnot. And of course we have to work, and work is demanding our time as well. Sometimes we need to be in different places at the same time, and that's impossible. According to Oakland 2016, noted that these conflicts arise between family and work range from work to family, time-based, family to work, behavioral-based, and strength-based. All these conflicts had an impact on psychological stress and experiences. Gizmono and Curtin University 2011 highlighted that the reality remains. So we have to do something about it. Work and family activities happen, and each of these entities affects individuals. Work-family balance causes disagreement. Increasing job-related demands make hard for people to keep up with family needs. And we have to take care of our families, but also we need to be responsible for our job. We have to remember that a happy staff makes a productive team. So we need to make sure that the that we have a productive team and the staff is happy. So we need to balance work and family and relationships. This is according to Attitudes and Around Organization 1998. So the solution for this situation is that employees should engage in proper training programs. In these programs, they need to learn about empathy and have to show them, or show to the workers, empathy and also emotional support. Sometimes it's all we need as an employee to know that the manager understand our situation, and sometimes they can be okay to be late at work because I need to take my child to the school, or maybe I need to leave early from work because I need to pick up my child from school as well. And this is a work-family conflict. In today's society, we have so many people that they have just one parent, single parent, or some people they need to take care of elderly people as well. So that will create work-family conflict. The organization should embark on schedule flexibility too as well. Employees can be in charge of their schedule, but also show them that it has to be in a responsible way. They can show to the employees responsibility among the work staff and their schedule too. They can flex their time, maybe one day leaving a little early so they can take care of the issue the following day, and as long they work 40 hours during the week, but with the chance of flexing their time so they can take care of business at home or whatever the case may be. Work is very important, and we need to understand that too. So employees will develop a sense of responsibility among the work staff and their schedule, according to Goldman 1996. Question number 4. Imagine that you have asked to develop a performance assessment program for employees' development. What technique could you use to adequately evaluate employee performance as comprehensive as possible? Think about Murphy's list. A measure of employment development will help in understand the strengths and the weaknesses of employees for improvement. So this is so important. So this way we know what is going on with our employees. The performance assessments generate tremendous data that we can use later on, but we need to try to do this in our companies more than once a year, because in that way we can collect very important information to use it later on. I will begin by defining role-based competencies and behaviors for every employee so they know exactly what is expected from them. Sometimes companies, they don't define what their employees supposed to do and also the way that they're supposed to behave. So this can create a problem in the long term. First, I will conduct a peer review to evaluate the workers. This methodology involves considering feedback from other co-workers, and I will ask them to be very honest on evaluating their teammates, because if they're giving me the wrong information, well, the evaluation is going to be incorrect. So, but I will conduct a peer review to evaluate the workers, and I will be using the teammates so they can give me feedback. Secondly, I will self-evaluate the employees also, and also I will be very careful asking them to be honest as is possible so we can get accurate data. Thirdly, I will use a quantitative evaluation method using statistics and standards in tracking productivity, so that way we have a base that we are getting the right information to take further decision. Finally, I will use competencies, skills in grading the various job roles according to the employee's role. I will use some competencies so they can do to prove that they're doing it right according to this company's rules and whatnot. Lemire 2016 talks about this, and here's what he's suggesting as well. Performance assessments generate a tremendous amount of data that is very valuable for the company, but this data has to turn to HR in order to be useful, because if they don't have this data, well, it can be a big waste of time, according to Fisher 2016. Along with the supporting compensation decision, this data can be used to justify new training programs, also identify people who can fast track on their careers, and also define long-term succession planning. Question number 5. What are some possible common organizational constraints? How could they lead to counterproductive behavior? I think the monetary capital will be a possible common organizational constraint. Generally, strategy implementation is monetary investments, and then companies are going to try to get money in some other ways. They can get equity through capital. Also, they can sell and also borrowing money. But if that company is not taking care of this situation in the right way, they can affect the employees, and the employees will be misbehaving, like the production is going to decline, they're going to start wasting resources, they're going to be taking excessive breaks, maybe other ones, or maybe other situations they can take advantage of it, because they will think that the company is not doing right and they're looking on the wrong place for the money, of course the employees, they're going to notice, and if they don't taking care of those employees or they don't getting paid, they might be leading to behaviors like the production decline, wasting resources, excessive breaks, and whatnot. Another organizational constraint can be physical limitations, fiscal limitations, and also time limitations. A bad manager can also be a organizational constraint. We can have, like what happened to Nokia. They suffer a massive loss because a bad leadership. It's a large company, and it is leading the technology in the world. But when you have bad leadership, it can cost a lot of money to your company, and this can be also a constraint which lead to a counterproductive behavior. When we have good managers, also we can help them to incorporate good things to the company and also to the employees, so they don't have these kind of issues. Thank you so much for your attention, and cheers.